Welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this right here. Well, the Lakers get off easy as usual when we look at this schedule right here, guys. This upcoming schedule. I mean, is there any good teams in the NBA? Where's all the good teams in the NBA, guys? Where's all the good teams in the NBA? Look at this schedule for the Lakers. It's embarrassing. And before we get into this Lakers schedule, like we do this every year, guys. Every year. And to me, it don't matter really where they play at, but they got a lot of home games. I'm saying it don't matter where they play at because the schedule, the competition is weak. So like I said, guys, before we get into this schedule, LeBron James, what I think happened, and I don't have a lot of proof for this, but I'm just saying. At least I'm going out on a limb. I'm not coming to you guys and basically sounding like a robot like the rest of these guys. They basically say the same thing. They basically bring you the story that the NBA wants you to bring, which is, I call it the script. So they want you to push the NBA script. And the NBA script is for better or for worse, right? LeBron James is the past 22 years has been this rogue dude running around the NBA doing what he wants to do. And these millionaire, billionaire owners have no control over that. The coaches have no control over that. The GMs have no control over that. The Players Association has no control. Nobody has control over one of the dumbest dudes you ever listen to. So this is a script that the NBA wants you to push, right? Even though we know that there's no guy ever in professional sports that just come in and been allowed to do what he wanted to do. So, in my opinion, I thought LeBron James was going to retire. Okay, because I just don't see him. Well, no, I'm not going to say that. There's nothing that's impossible with this guy. Let me just say this. I thought he was just going to, because you're not practicing. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to whatever you want to call it. There were practices in the preseason. He didn't play preseason, and then he missed all these games. How is he in shape to even start a game? That's weird. I don't care what he does on that court. In year, what's he in, 22, 23, whatever. How is he in shape to run up and down the court, no matter how many shots he takes, no matter how many assists, whatever he does? How is he in shape to play in this fast-paced era after he didn't play in preseason? He didn't do nothing in the offseason, no kind of practicing. And he done missed all these games. But evidently, he's ready to play. And he's playing. So, what I thought had happened was LeBron James was just going to retire. He was just going to, extend this the entire year. No, I'll be back in December. No, I'll be back in January. No, I'll be, just to see what these guys were going to do. Maybe some guys in the West would end up getting hurt, and it would be a free ride. When I say OKC, some of those guys on OKC maybe get hurt. Durant get hurt. Maybe Joker lose some guys. And basically, the Lakers have a free ride to the championship game, right? To the finals. Apparently, that didn't happen. So, and in my opinion, I also said that from what I've seen so far, none of these guys won a championship with a super team in the 2020s. The Joker, the Giannis, the SGA, the Tatum, Curry. None of whoever won a championship in the 2020s didn't have a super team. Now, we can consider LeBron James' bubble championship in 2020 a super team with Dwight Howard. And I don't care if it's an old super team. It's still a super team. He was another team's number one franchise player at one time. That's just how it is, guys. But anyway, no other player won the championship with a super team in the 2020s. So that's why I always say, as long as LeBron James is playing, none of those guys that I said, Greek Freak, Giannis, well, the same thing. Greek Freak, Tatum, Curry, Joker, and who else? SGA is not winning another championship while LeBron James is playing. He ain't. Nobody, it ain't going to happen. And I know it sounds crazy, but they haven't proved it otherwise. Who else won 2 championships in the 2020s? Nobody. Okay? And that's, to me, it's a big stain on LeBron James' legacy. Because like I said, those guys that won the championship in the 2020s, they didn't do it with a super team. So if any of these other guys would do it again, the Giannis, the Curry, the Joker, the SGA, who am I missing out? I think I got all of them. If they was to win another championship again, it wouldn't be with a super team. They don't have no super team. Okay? So we got to rethink who's going to win the championship this year, because the NBA has been showing us that nobody's going to repeat. Nobody's going to get, well, not repeat. Nobody's going to get another championship that already got a championship in the 2020s. And that has nothing to do with parity. if these guys aren't flopping, load managing, playing defense, and, it was something like that, now you could say, okay, yeah, 70s parity, something like that. But it was teams in the 70s that won 2 championships. Now, don't get me wrong. It was teams that won 2 championships. Now, let's see what happens. To me, I'm just saying. Now, I do think, in my opinion, that, yes, the Lakers with LeBron James on it can win another championship. That's fine. That's fine. It ain't fine with me, but I'm just saying it's fine with the NBA. That he wins another. It don't matter if he rides the bus or not. Luka, listen, guys, it's already starting with LeBron James. Okay? This is what they'll say if LeBron James wins another championship. And don't be surprised. It don't matter. This notion that these people keep saying that, and it's true, most of it, that if LeBron James wins another championship, it'll be riding the coattails of Luka Dončić. That's true. But it won't surprise me if LeBron James wins the Finals MVP. That's the thing about it, guys. How many Finals MVPs did he win when he didn't deserve it? This dude just want to go Olympic MVP and didn't deserve it. So Luka won't fight him. Did Curry fight him for that MVP? No. That's part of the script. Curry didn't say nothing. And if it weren't for Curry, they would have lost. They almost lost the International Plumbers. You know what I'm saying? But let's don't get too far right or left right here. Let's try to stay in the middle and take what they've been giving us, like they always been giving us certain things. Let's stay right there. So LeBron James would win the Finals MVP because he would do certain things, right? Maybe he would lead the team in assists. I don't know. I don't say rebounds, but he would have some rebounds, and maybe some kind of defense, right? These chase down blocks and all this stuff, right? He would have the best defensive rating or whatever it is. They will find a way to give it to him because they would say, "Oh, nobody else is doing this stuff at his age, in this year of his career in the finals." So I wouldn't doubt it, guys. Okay? And like I said, Luka won't fight him. Remember, LeBron James brought Luka over to LA. I won't say LeBron James solely by himself, but LeBron James was part of it, right? LeBron James did his job with the Lakers. It don't matter what happens. LeBron James did what he had to do for the Lakers. Bring Bronny in for the clown show and get all these jersey sales and bring in Luka. He told his friend, AD, "Hey man, we're going to have to sacrifice you. I got you over here, got you a championship, got your little willy wet in LA, and you got to go now, man." And the script reads, just go over there and face some injuries. They'll trade you out, but we need to get Luka over here for now. Okay? And like I said, LeBron James did what he had to do for the Lakers. And we don't know if the NBA is going to reward him. I don't know what other team that could, win a championship this year and LeBron James playing. Maybe Minnesota. I don't know. Maybe a team out of the East. We don't know that. Maybe it's the East team. But don't get fooled by OKC. Don't get fooled, guys. Don't get fooled by that team putting up all these wins, because we already know every year that a team in the 2020s won a championship, they said the same stuff. Who's going to stop this team? This team is probably going to go back to back. They're going to win all these championships in the 2020s. We heard it when the Lakers won it. We heard it when Curry won it again. What was that? 21. And then when Giannis won it. And then when Joker won it. And then when, who was that? And then when Tatum won it, right? With the Celtics. And then last year, or this year, the last championship when SGA won it. Okay? You hear the same crap every single year. Who's going to stop this team? Who's going to stop this team? How many can they win? And I don't care how good a start they had. Show me. Prove me wrong. I'm not trying to say I'm right. I'm just going by what I see, guys. I can't make this up. This is what they've been giving us. OKC looks great. That's it. And they might be doing this, for fool's gold. So I'm just trying to tell you right here before we get into this, ridiculous schedule right here. I thought LeBron James would retire, but to me, I think they had him like on a probational period to where they was like, do we need you? We don't need you. Blah, 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 blah. And to me, what I think they told him to come back for the clown show. Ain't nobody else producing the soap opera in the NBA. They're not. You need something to really talk about. The game is boring. It's uniform. It's just flopping and crying. No defense. Dudes just running up the score. How does the score get this high in these games? If you're winning by 20, I don't know. In the fourth quarter, it's like 8 minutes to go. Get the hell out of the game. Why are these guys still in the game? And then they always low managing, talking about they hurt. So I think they brought LeBron James back for the soap opera. So, guys, remember, YouTube platform sells the NBA, not the on-court greatness, or not these top 5 players internationals. These top 5 international players, they don't sell the game, guys. Where they are, the McDonald's commercial, the Gatorade commercial, Nike commercial. Where are these top 5 players of the NBA? Where they at? The Jokers, the Giannis, the Lukas, the SGA, where they at? Ain't nowhere, guys. It's a joke. You couldn't even imagine nothing like this back in the 80s and 90s, and Bird and Magic went on big time commercials, and Michael Jordan, and Charles Barkley and Sean Kemp, and man, all these dudes in the 90s had all these big time commercials back in the day, man. Larry Johnson and Penny Hardaway and who is this? Even Scottie Pippen was on some commercials. Muggsy Bogues was on some commercials. Dominique Wilkins, all these dudes, man. In the 2000s, we can't forget about them, the AIs, and the LeBron James and the Kobe Bryants, and Shaq is the biggest advertising dude in history. Nobody has more commercials than Shaq. That's crazy, guys. Every time I look at the TV, which I don't watch TV that much now, there goes Shaq with another commercial. I'm like, this dude is doing every commercial there is, guys. It's hard for me to believe that this guy is on every single commercial like that. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Well, get your money, man. I ain't hating. So let's look at this. So they don't play again until, is it Saturday? What a crime. No, this ain't. Is this right? Hold on. They just played the Jazz. Well, this is what it says. There's no way they don't play until Saturday again. Oh, my fault. I'm looking at something else. I'm about to say, man. So they play again tomorrow. So they play at home against the Clippers, then play at home against Dallas, then play at New Orleans at home, then play Phoenix at home, and then they go and play at Toronto, at Boston, at 76ers, at Utah again, wow, at Clippers, at Phoenix, versus the Houston Rockets, and then they play at home against Sacramento, then play at home against Detroit, then play at home 2 times in a row against Memphis, then New Orleans, then San Antonio. They go to Man, this schedule is a weakest schedule I've ever seen, guys. So Kawhi ain't going to be there for this next game tomorrow. So they're going to win that game. Kawhi just don't even play in the NBA, but he gets paid millions. This is the worst business in the world. Guys, this is the worst, not just the worst sports league of all time. This is the worst business in the world. The worst business. You guys always hear me say this. They're giving these guys millions not to even show up and work. You will see these guys sitting on the bench, making millions, watching other guys work. That's pretty nuts, right? You're making millions sitting on the bench, watching other guys work. This is the worst business company of all time, the NBA. Never seen nothing like it in my life. Nothing. When I was growing up, these guys played just about every game, unless they was like something was really torn, something was really messed up, right? It wasn't no nagging injury. So when you go back and watch 90s games, whatever, and you'll hear the play-by-play guys at the beginning of the game, but they're in the game, they said this guy's been nagged by this, nagged by that, nagged by this injury, and they still playing, guys. They still playing. You had to play unless something was torn or on the verge of being torn or fractured or something like that. You got to play with nagging injuries. What are you talking about? You got to play for your next contract. That was part of it. That was part of it. That's why I say these are fake fans today. The fans held you. Man, you want the fans not to show up or something? They ain't gonna show up to them games. When Michael Jordan arrived, them damn arenas were empty. If you didn't win, they weren't going. That's one thing that's different from today. The fans still go for some. I don't know why, but the viewership is really bad in the NBA, and it's been like that for the last 10 years. And all that tells me is that these aren't real fans. They just want to go see guys play basketball. They just want to see entertainment, the fans today. And you could tell, listen to the crowd in the 90s and listen to the crowd today. The crowd back then was deafening. They was cussing and screaming and calling people names. And man, I just want to go over this again, man. It just ain't no comparison to how things was back in the day. Phil Jackson was doing this interview and he said he get cussed out all game by the fans. Tell them to sit down and shut the hell up all game. Nobody wants to hear you coach the Bulls, and you're a traitor. You're supposed to play for New York, and now you're coaching the Bulls. You're a traitor. Just all this crazy stuff, man. I'm not trying to say fans don't say nothing today, but not even close to what it was back in the day, man. You're going to get cussed out by your own fan base for missing free throws, blown assignment, missing an easy layup. They would just wear you down. Call you all kind of names. Forget about the opponents. The crowd was the coach. The fans were the coach. You came to their team. They've been fans of that team before you came. And their mama, and their daddy, and their grandparents. This is a traditional thing. These fans today, man, get out of here, man. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying you couldn't. LeBron James couldn't play in the 90s, man. We already talked. We did a video the other day, and we told you because LeBron James couldn't carry the standard that was passed to him from Kobe Bryant, that was passed down from, all these other greats before him, Kobe Bryant's and the Michael Jordans and the Larry Birds and Magic Johnsons and just all these great players in general. But I'm just saying, as far as the star player in the face of the league, it's main guys that carry the torch and handed the torch, right? So when LeBron James got the torch, which he really didn't, we found out, right? He didn't get the torch. He didn't take the torch because he didn't do it the right way. He ran away. He didn't take it. Right? So he went to Miami, basically. So after that, LeBron James decided to make a mockery out of the NBA since he couldn't do it like, Michael, Kobe, Larry, Shaq, Duncan, all these great players, right? Magic, Kareem, Russell, Will, all these guys, right, that had to do it the right way. So he said, I'm going to just make a mockery out of the NBA then. And that's what's been going on since then, right? Not one, not two, not three, taking his town to South Beach, announcing all this stuff after you got your ass whooped, all in Cleveland, melted down with the number 1 seed and, choked and, his whole spiel in Cleveland. So he decides to make a mockery out of greatness because he could never achieve what these guys did in the past. And the NBA had no choice but to ride with him because that's all they had moving forward. To make a mockery out of things. And said, oh, well, maybe we can get viewers off of this mockery. So let's look at this. So they play tomorrow. They play Clippers. They're going to win that game. They're at home. These next 4 games at home. They play Dallas. Of course, they're going to beat them. You think Dallas was going to stay healthy? Nope. If you had that Dallas team literally, logically, healthy, Cooper Flag, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie, I'm thinking they're going to be a good team this year. And then all the other pieces that they had, it would have been a good team. Nope, not on LeBron James' watch. That ain't going to happen. See you later. Fake them injuries. It's over. We'll blame, this fool that traded Luka, right? That's part of the game. So, and then they play New Orleans at home. That's a win. Then they play Phoenix at home. That's a win. Probably go to Toronto, shoot a whole bunch of free throws. They go to Boston. That's a win. You play Philly, all banged up. Nobody wants to play on that team, the Stars. That's a win. You play Utah again for whatever reason, nobody knows. You win that. You're back playing the Clippers, busted up and beat up. Nobody wants to play on that team either. Obviously, that's a win. You play Phoenix again. That's a win. Now you're playing Houston next. Who knows? Maybe Kevin Durant will be out by then because we all know this stunt that Kevin Durant is pulling. And I think Sports and Fitness Rants did a video on it. About Kevin Durant only scoring like 12, 13 against Denver the other night. And they lost. The Houston lost. And he's supposed to be this, offensive god and basketball god and all this stuff. And he couldn't do nothing. This is what Kevin Durant came over there for. Kevin Durant came over there for the clown show because he's a clown show too. And he's came over there to sell tickets, right? It's a thing where it's fool's gold. They're trying to convince the Houston fans, buy up tickets, get your tickets. And you already know they're bringing Kevin Durant over there. So them tickets going to be even more now, right? They're just going to be through the roof. So this year, through the roof tickets, because they got all the way up to number 2 last year, and now we got Kevin Durant. Oh yeah, we're gonna win the championship. We're gonna go to the finals. We're gonna do all this, right? A guy who can't even make it through the season, always beat up, injured, skinnier now than he's ever been. He looks sick. He ain't grabbing no rebounds this year. He ain't grabbing no assists this year. What is he doing, guys? He's about to get hurt. That's how it always goes, guys. He's about to get hurt. He's about to call uncle, and he's gonna be out the game. Or not out the game. Well, yeah, out the game. But he's not going to be playing all season. His time is coming. His time is coming. Just like I said, Victor Wembanyama, guess what? There go Kevin Durant. His time is coming. He ain't going to make it through this fast pace, man. He's too skinny, too frail. He's old, he's under, what do you want to call that word? I can't even think of it right now. Undernourished. He's undernourished. He ain't going to make it through this, guys. He's fool's gold. And then he's going to go down. He done made all this money. Did he get another contract too on top of that from them? Oh my God. So he's going to go down, and that's going to be it. They're not going to go nowhere, and they're going to get smashed. Houston is. That's just it. That's it. So anyways, yes, now they're going to play Houston. Let me see what's going on right here. It closed out. So they play Houston, and they play at Houston. They're going to beat them, in my opinion. And who knows? It's probably going to be guys out like always. Then they play Sacramento. At Sacramento, they're going to beat them. They play Detroit. This is going to be a test right here. I'm not saying they're going to beat them, but let's see who sits out, because that's what these guys do as far as Detroit. Then they play Memphis back-to-back. They're going to win that one. They play at New Orleans. They play at New Orleans. They're going to win that. Then they go to San Antonio. We don't even know if Victor Wembanyama is even going to come back. Or when he comes back, they're going to limit his minutes. And then they go play the Bucks. The Bucks haven't been looking good, guys. The Lakers beat the hell out of them without LeBron James. So they lose to the Bucks, the Lakers. That means LeBron James was in the way. Then they go play Sacramento again. I don't know why they keep playing these bad teams. They're going to win that. And then they play Atlanta, but they're playing at home again. The Clippers are. Man, this is just crazy. I don't see why they won't win that, but they did get their doors blown off at Atlanta, but they play Atlanta at home this time. So they're probably going to win that. Charlotte, they play after that. They're at home. They're playing Charlotte at home. And they're going to win that. They play at Portland. They're going to win that. They go back home when they play Toronto. It's a crazy schedule. Home, on the road, home, on the road, on the road, home, 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 home. So I don't know about Toronto this year. We'll see. And then they play Denver. Finally, they play. It's what is this? This is January 20th, and they played Denver for the first time, if I ain't mistaken. Goodness God. I mean, like, wow. But they play at Denver. And then they play at Clippers again. Oh my God, here we go again. So after you play Denver, which is a decent opponent, you go back and play the Clippers again. And then guess what? They play Dallas. And then they play Chicago. I don't know. They're a decent team. Then you play Cleveland. And then you play Washington. Look, listen, I don't know about Cleveland. We'll see what happens. They got to play at Cleveland. But after they play at Cleveland, they got to go play Washington. And then they got to go play the Knicks. We'll see what happens there. And then they play Brooklyn. Then the 76ers again. Playing Golden State. Who knows? Golden State don't even want to play this year for some reason. Now they finally play OKC, right? And then they play San Antonio after that. So if Victor Wembanyama comes back, yes, they can win that. But didn't the Lakers beat Victor Wembanyama this year without LeBron James? I thought they did, if I ain't mistaken. It's just the schedule is just a bunch of trash. It's just a bunch of trash. That's who they're playing. They're not playing, 3 bad teams, a good team. 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 No. They're playing like 5 bad teams, a good team. 5 bad teams, a good team. And then a bad team, then a good team. And then 4 bad teams, a good team. And then 5 bad teams. It's just like, what the hell is this? If it's even that. It might be worse than that, than what I'm saying. Matter of fact, it does look worse than what I'm saying. It's not that good. And we haven't even. I'm not even. Look at this schedule. The last season. I mean, the last game they played the Jazz. The last 5 games in what is that? March. They played Dallas, OKC, which OKC they'll probably be sitting out that game. They're good players. They play Golden State, which is trash now, Phoenix, and the Jazz. Man, I don't know what to say, man. Listen, a lot of this stuff ain't even on the Lakers because they can't make, people be good. They can't make people be good or bad. That don't exist. Or players, whatever. They can't make them. But still, yeah, this is just, it makes no sense at all, guys, when you see this schedule. How can they call these players professional players at this point? They're bad. It's too many bad teams. I'm sorry. Too many old dudes from the damn 210s holding this league up. Because I'm not trying to say these international players ain't good, but damn, they ain't pushing the league. They ain't carrying the league to ratings. Boy, I like to see this. It might be a minute. It might be about 4 years, whatever. But when these dudes leave, the Currys, the Kawhis, the Russell Westbrook, the James Hardens, the LeBron James, the Durants, wow. MLB ratings. This is what this shit will be, guys. Because right now, the SGA, the Joker, the Luka, the Giannis, the Wemby, these guys should be in the forefront of pushing this game. Where they don't even need these 210 guys to be a clown act. Right? But guess what? These guys from the 210 are still the clown act that's moving this game. It don't matter if they're winning. It don't matter if they're winning. Nobody cares about these international players. We don't know their personalities. They don't play defense. None of them make defensive teams. Yeah, Giannis does. He's the only one. But even his defensive play has just fallen off the map. And who's his competition to stop him from making defensive teams? So all you got is these one-way players running up and down the court playing offense. I mean, Anthony Edwards, this guy can't even score 30 points per game in this weak soft era. He can't even get on the defensive team. This guy is a joke, man. I'm just saying he's a joke in comparison to what they touted this guy to be. And look, these guys ain't trying to be much because LeBron James set the bar. So they ain't trying to go above and beyond that, guys, to get clout. What we're going to do a video on about, I don't know. It basically, all these great players back in the day that at least, they didn't have to be the greatest defensive players of all time, but they made defensive teams. These offensive players that were good too. They made defensive teams, but yet you got these guys from 15 until now, they ain't making no defensive team done. It's crazy. The only guy that making defensive teams is Giannis and AD. That's your all-NBA players. That's your great players. And these guys is making it by default. Not that they're not good defensive players, but I'm just saying default that they don't have no competition defensively to go against at their position to fight them for them defensive teams. So all they're doing is playing defense and are making defensive teams. That's all you got to do. Because in my eyes, AD and Giannis, to me, they're not top 5 defenders of all time. They're just not. So we'll probably do that video soon.